And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Ryan Lewicki Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, your team out to a nice start, back-to-back weekend wins. Talk about the team so far in the early going.
Yeah, I think it's been 2 good weeks of just getting outside and playing baseball, right? The simple concept is trying to play as many guys as you can, pitch as many guys as you can, whether it's still just getting guys some reps on the defensive side or base running. It's trying to see how many of our 40 to 42 players can make an impact in what way, whether it's, offense, defense, or pitching. So it's been good. We've played a lot of guys, and I think that's the positive. We still need to get some more guys some time and reps, both pitching and offensively. But early on, 2 weekends in, 2 weekends won, we're on the right stride. Now there's a lot of season left, obviously, but so far, pleased with where we are.
And it's kind of been a tale of 2 weekends, starting with USC Beaufort. A lot of offense in that opening weekend. You guys scored double-digit runs a couple of times. Talk about the offense in that opening weekend and how they played.
Yeah, I think the offense, truthfully, not only that weekend, but in 5 games, they've done all the hard part of what you look for when you talk about your offense creating some havoc, some chaos. Like we're averaging, I think, 2+ guys on an inning right now. So they've done the hard part throughout 5 baseball games, and especially the hard part at USCB. I think where we still are trying to figure out kind of our identity as an offense is our negative through 4 of the 5 games has been we just have struggled to really score, a good percent of those guys that are getting on, and I think it's that timely hitting, that 2-out hitting. It's somebody coming up with runners in scoring position and driving that hit to score 1 or 2, So I think USCB, yeah, they gave us a lot, and we at least did enough, I think, 2 of the 3 games to have our offense be successful. I think at Virginia State, we really struggled with capitalizing when we had opportunities. I think we had 20 guys on in 2 games, and, you score 7 runs. Like that may sound like a lot, but it's 30%. And I think that's a really low number when you look at an offense. You got to be 40% or more on if you got, 10 guys on, you need to score at least 4. So I think it's been good. The offense is doing the hard work. Now we got to start having some guys come in with some confidence and start executing when we have chances to score runs every inning.
And in that Virginia State series, your starting pitching really dominated. Seb Kahn, Dom Carlson each had good outings to start for you guys. Talk about the pitching in that series and kind of what made them go.
Yeah, the front end's been good, I think, in both weekends, right? Going to USCB and going to Virginia State, I think the front end, those 3 have been pretty consistent, right? We've gotten at least somewhere between, on average, 4 innings out of 2 starts from everybody. I think they've all done a great job of just commanding, trying to attack, trying to throw strikes, limiting the free stuff, being okay with giving up hits, and I think what they've done is all 3 of them have just added back-to-back weekends where we're at least commanding the zone. And we're letting the defense, still trying to figure out the defense a little bit, but they're letting the defense play. And I think they're going to have to stay that way for a long time for us to be successful, right? Seb and Dom and Rolly, all 3 of them are going to have to continue to throw strikes. And they're going to have to continue to try to either get weak contact early in counts or go for the punch-out later in the bats. So all 3 been good. I have no issues with both weekends with those 3's performances. And hopefully this weekend with Mansfield, they stack up, obviously, 3 more good starts for us.
And you've had a spark plug at the top of your lineup. Edward Mateo won the MEC Hitter of the Week in the first weekend. Talk about him and kind of what he provides at the top of that lineup.
Yeah, he's a talent. A switch hitting, guy at the top of your lineup can cause a little bit of really chaos in many ways. Obviously not only just I think with an OBP getting on and hitting the baseball hard, he's showcased at Virginia State, and he hit our only home run there, right? So a little bit of not only just, I think, consistency at the top, but some pop and power too. And then, he hasn't struck out yet, knock on wood, but 2 weekends in, your leadoff guy doesn't strike out. I mean, he's putting the ball in play, or he's getting on somehow. So he kind of stirs that pot for us, obviously, to get innings going. You try to get him the most at bats out of anybody. And the kid works, and he's doing a good job, not only offensively, but defensively. We got him playing 3 different spots right now. So he's handling not only being the top of the lineup, first guy up most of the time, 3 different defensive spots, but the dude is just, at USCB, looked locked. Just looked really locked in offensively. And again, he's just one of many, I think, right now that are only going to continue to get better as this goes.
And in these first 2 weeks, your program has been honored twice, both in the conference level and the regional level. How big is that for your program to get those recognition right off the bat?
Yeah, I think for the program it's great, but I think it's better for the kid, for my guys. Like, they deserve it. It has nothing to do with me. It's just about them and all the work they put in. And obviously it's about the team too. Like, obviously Mateo, was really good offensively, but he had to have guys around him to be a supporting cast for him to do well, to get the accolades he did. Same thing with Seb. This past week, Seb was pretty electric, I thought, at Virginia State for 7 innings. But we also still had to make plays behind him and do all the other stuff well for that recognition to come. I just think, I think this group with those two and a lot of the guys on this, I think they all understand the concept, and we all have to do our part for us to be successful and for us to win weekends. And those two just have streamlined the last 2 weekends for sure.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, you're playing your home opener of sorts this week, going down to GoMart Ballpark in Charleston. Talk about what that's going to be like to kind of be the home team now, even though it's not at your traditional field at GoMart.
Yeah, I think we knew this was going to happen for a while, and I think the guys we kind of planned for this for a good bit. We knew we weren't going to probably have a field this year, and we just, at the end of the day, it's that so what mentality that we talk about with our program. We'll play anywhere we have to, and I think going to GoMart's it's a neat setup, right? It's where the conference tournament is. It's a gorgeous facility, indie ball, low level of pro stadium. Like it's just going to be gorgeous for the guys, and I think the venue speaks for itself. For us being the home team now, it's just now we got to learn how to take care of business on the other side of it, right? We've been on the road twice. We've learned how to travel. We've learned how to handle being the away team. Now we get to be on the other side of that spectrum, right? Things are a little bit earlier, pitching first, not hitting first, right? So I think now it's nothing changes. It's just now, hey, let's go try to maybe, win a ball game a little sooner and then not have to play the bottom of the ninth this time or the bottom of the seventh. But we're excited. We're just excited to get a PSAC team. We're excited to not have to travel too far to go play. And we're just ready to host, a huge in-region weekend for us this weekend.
And talk a little bit about Mansfield. Welcome them in for a 3-game series. Got moved up to Friday, Saturday. Talk about Mansfield and what they bring.
Yeah, PSAC East, which if people don't know, it's tough, right? Millersville, Westchester, East Stroudsburg, 3 top 25s in that division of the PSAC. So they play some of the best schools in the country consistently. They had a 4-game set with Glenville, 3-1 run games, won the last one. They're young, but they have some talent. I think that's what's probably the most unsure part for us is this. It's hard to do a scout when you got a team that's only got 2 returners in their offense. Starting 4 true freshmen, a few transfers. Starting one of their top 3 who didn't throw an inning last year, right? So there's a lot of question marks for us to figure out what do they do well? Like, what's their weakness? What's their strengths? How do we need to play them? And I think for us, what we're going to try to do is what I say every week, is just control us and do what we do, which is try to limit the free stuff, play for big innings as an offense, and try to be more than just routinely making plays on defense. So I think if we do that this weekend, we'll be okay. But again, we weren't great last weekend either. We just pitched really well. So we got to do some more checking of boxes for us to be successful. And it's exciting. Anytime you get a PSAC weekend, it's exciting for sure. Doesn't matter who it is.
And finally, you started region play with a couple of wins last weekend. How important is it for you guys to stack up these regional wins as you get ready for the MEC?
Yeah, you have to, right? If you want a shot to play, not only for your conference tournament, but for an NCAA, bid, you have to play in region games. You have to win in region games, and you have to win in region weekends. You can't afford to truthfully take a weekend off at where we are. We have 13 of these total, and our goal, since we got this thing started, has been we have to check 13 weekend boxes, right? And whether it's Mansfield or whether it's Charleston State, right? You have to check weekend series. So goal is simple: win 2 out of 3. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to play your best yet, but try to do more than what you did last weekend. Try to find a way to win 2 out of 3. Try to keep, confidence and keep a little bit of, consistency with us in some areas of our style of play. But, it'll be Friday night, 6 p.m. first pitch, and we'll see if we can take game 1 of a 3-game set.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck this weekend. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.